But then I looked down and my entire arm was just completely bloody, all covered in blood, and there were still mosquitoes on it, and there were like five on them, five on my arm at once, just trying to get every last bit of blood out. Oh, hey there. Welcome back to episode 2. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just peeing in that bush. Yeah, I don't know how to get inside, so there's pee in there, there's some poop in there. Anyway, we're back with some more digging a hole. And in this episode, we are going to be telling another story. That is what I have decided for this series. Is it a good idea to tell stories while I dig holes? Because if I'm distracted from digging the hole and there's a cave in, I'm just going to die. And I'm going to be too busy talking about, well, like, what was I talking about last time? Dissecting sharks? Yeah, I'm going to be too busy talking about that. And I'm not going to see the fact that this whole thing is caving in on me. But you know what? It'll just be an epic thing to put on my tombstone. He died because he got caved in while trying to find treasure in his own backyard. That's not a bad thing to have on the tombstone. No, there are worse things to have on the tombstone, like got killed by a McDonald's customer because she wanted her chicken nuggets so badly. You know, that'd be a pretty crappy thing to have on the tombstone. You know. Yeah. Anyway, enough about tombstones. Jeez, it's really morbid. First I talk about dissecting, disposing shark bodies. Now I'm talking about tombstones. Ugh, alright. Let's think about another story here. There is one interesting story that has happened to me. It was a little while back. I don't know if I'd call it interesting, as I'd just call it more relatable. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have been there, and it's when you forget some basic things you need to have a fun vacation. You plan the vacation, you're all ready, and then suddenly there's just this one thing you forget, and it just ruins the whole vacation. Temporarily, per se. In this story's case, we were going to California, my dad and I. We were gonna go. I think it was 2024. I think it was when we were going to California, and I got hurt. Jeez, I must have stubbed my toe or something. Ugh. So we were going to California, and I don't want to dox myself, so I'm gonna say but we were basically taking off from an airport in the East Coast, somewhere in the eastern United States. And we ended up flying all the way over Colorado, which is so cool. See Colorado from the sky, all the mountains. Then we were flying over Arizona. And as a guy from the East Coast, there's a bunch of trees and Blue Ridge Mountains and other very, very forested in the East Coast, very green in the eastern United States. But it's not... You don't really see something like you do in Arizona. And it just kind of felt otherworldly. It was pretty cool because you just look down and from the plane and it's just a thin layer of clouds and then these just red rocks. It was like we were flying over Mars. For any of you that live in Arizona, you're probably like, yep, that's the way it is. But for me, I'm from the East Coast. I'm like, jeez. I don't know. I don't know how... I don't know. If you're from Arizona, what do you think of the East? Do you think like, oh my gosh, there's so many freaking trees? It's crazy. It's always interesting to think about someone else's perspective on things. Why am I okay? I'm telling the story and I'm like going around with this because I want to buy a lamp. That's what my brain couldn't do two things at once. Which is weird. I'm usually pretty good at multitasking, but it's all right. Don't matter. So where was I? Okay, so we were flying over Arizona, and we had a layover in Los Angeles. And I've never been to Los Angeles, and the first time I got to experience it was by getting laid over at LAX. Which, you know what? That's fine. That's good with me. I enjoyed it. Oh, much better. Now we can see what we're doing. I enjoyed getting laid over at LAX because, it was a good first taste to what LA is like. You know, when you're flying over LA, you're just for a couple hours, or not a couple hours, that's an exaggeration. A couple minutes, a good couple minutes, you're just flying over urban. You're not flying over any oh crap. You're not flying over any mountains, you're not flying over any um forests, nothing. It's just straight urban the whole time. And it's really interesting to see the sprawl. You know, I thought the sprawl was bad where I'm from in the eastern US, but geez, LA, when you go and you return and you look at it from Google Earth, it's we made a new biome, basically, a new environment, the urban environment. I kind of expected that because I spend so much time on Google Earth, but it was just weird to see it in person, especially since I play GTA 5 so much, and that's kind of my impression of LA. And to see the actual LA was pretty fun. I could see why the developers didn't want to make. Oh, what just popped up on my left hand? I could see why Rockstar didn't want to make the entire city into a map because it would be way too effing big. I think San Andreas in GTA is like it's only like half the size of Philadelphia, the entire map, or like half the size of Manhattan. What is this down? It's telling me to go down. I'm going. Oh crap! My inventory's full. You can hold that thought down thing. Hold that thought. Yeah. So the LA airport, LAX, really busy airport. It's basically everything the stereotypes say it is, and the airport, the people at the airport. Um, but it was still really, really interesting. It was fun, and there was a lot of unexpected stuff. Like you know, we took a bus and we went on the tarmac with the bus to get to our plane. And you had to do the thing where you got out because your plane is outside and the engines are going like, "Ah!" you can't hear yourself think because you're trying to get to the plane as the loud ass engines are playing. I just saved twice because I'm trying to multitask. What was it? Oh, I wanted more backpack space. I have. Oh, I don't have enough. I'm too poor. I have to get back down in there and find some gold or something. Ow, son of a freaking smeg. Get me down here. All right, so yeah, so after that I was getting pretty hungry because I hadn't eaten in a long time. This was a long day. My dad and I got up at 2 a.m. just to make it to our 5 a.m. flight at the at LAX, or excuse me, at the airport in the East Coast. We had to get up at like 2 a.m. Um, and the roads are pretty clear, of course, at 2 a.m., which is always fun. Um, but it was a long day because you remember the West Coast is a couple hours behind the East Coast, so it was like late in the afternoon for us, but it was still kind of mid morning there. So our day was extended, and then we got to. So after we got, what am I trying to say? I'm losing track of the story. Okay, we were LAX, then we took off from LAX to go to Sacramento, and just flying over the green, the Central California, you know, just the agricultural super sector was it almost felt like a cartoon just looking down there, like one of those when you're little you used to have those cartoon farms that you see. The ground looked a lot like that. There were a lot of greens and yellows, and it was really interesting. um and so we landed at Sacramento. I was starving then. I had to get something to eat. I was gonna pass out. I almost passed out on the plane, which if you're starving and you feel like you're gonna pass out and you had a long day on a plane, oh, when the pressure's in your ears and everything, man, it sucked. It's like a coffin. Just like I was slouching in my seat and I was like, oh, just throw me out of the plane. I don't care anymore. Oh, sweet, we can finally get this. Oh, we want the shovel or the inventory upgrade? Let's get the inventory upgrade because that's what I was whining about, right? Just let me stop whining and start buying, I guess. All right, we gotta find this down thing. But yeah, I never talked about our destination, did I? You're like, Where are you going? What are you going through all this for? We were going to go to Yosemite and then Lake Tahoe. The Yosemite National Park and Lake Tahoe. So we landed Sacramento, took a really long drive all the way from Sacramento, all the way through the California, like agriculture valley to Yosemite. That was a long. Imagine taking a big family road trip after you took a big flight all day. So it was like 2 trips in one, and there was no time for napping, no time for sleeping, because we had to get to our place. And by the time we got to our like little hotel, it was like this really nice resort out in the middle of the mountain ranges, like no contact with civilization. So everything, of course, was overpriced because you can't get gas there anywhere else, or you can't get food anywhere else. So let's jack up the prices so that our Yosemite guests go broke, and then they get stuck in here, and then we can sell them to human trafficking. Okay, no, it wasn't that bad, but it was expensive, and we were tired. We made it to the the hotel, and by then, going from the East Coast to the West Coast, our day had to be like the average day is like 16 hours long, like the average waking day. Our waking day had to be somewhere around like 20 hours at that point, and we were exhausted. So the moment it got dark, we went to bed. But we were there. We made it to Yosemite, like the best place. Well, we're gonna need some dynamite for this. We made it to Yosemite, like the best place ever. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Yosemite. I think it's my favorite national park now. I mean, it is really something. Like El Capitan, where Free Solo happened. If anyone's ever watched that, if you haven't, highly recommend look up Free Solo. It's that guy's superhuman. That's what we want, dynamite. Let's get 1 dynamite, and then we'll get another lamp. Oh wait, I already had 3. Son of a. So yeah, we went into Yosemite National Park the next day. Actually, we got in, and this is where. Well, the first day went really well. I mean, we got to see like a bunch of waterfalls and mountains. But the second day, this is where it gets our unpreparedness started to haunt us. We were going to what was it called? The Sequoias? Yeah, we're going to the Sequoias, which are these huge. They're kind of like redwoods, same size. They were really, really interesting. And there's this little spot in Yosemite where the sequoias were like, there were some very well preserved sequoias with very interesting features. Bam. But we did not realize what it would take to survive being a tourist there. And if you ever go to Yosemite, bring bug spray. Bring 2 bug sprays. In fact, bring 5 bug sprays. Because the mosquitoes there are vicious. I'm from the East Coast. I don't know, I've said that like 6 million times. But as a person from the East, mosquitoes here are really annoying, but they're not that big. Yeah, they just kind of little nubbers that leave some itchy marks on your skin. But in Yosemite, they are pretty damn big. So we were starting to walk because we forgot that we could take oh wait, I'm jumping ahead here. We realized we didn't have bug spray, and there was really nowhere to get any. We were searching around, and ooh, look at this! We found a giant ass cave. We were searching around for bug spray, and we couldn't find any. So we just said, "Screw it! We're gonna hike to the sequoias. It'll be fine." We started on the trail to go hike to the sequoias, and yeah, it was bad. It was like it was like a horror movie because we were hiking in, and my dad's got, I don't think mosquitoes really like my dad's blood, but my blood, let me tell you, my blood, they love it. They were all over it. They came in and, oh, let's just blow all our money on this shovel. Yes. They came in and they started. The only exposed skin I really had was my forearms. They started tearing them to shreds. It was terrible. I didn't really know. I mean, it was getting really itchy. I wasn't noticing. I was like, oh, let's just get there and see these damn sequoias. And then we go eat. We go eat something and not feel bad about ourselves. But then I looked down and my entire arm was just completely bloody, all covered in blood, and there were still mosquitoes on it, and there were like five on them, five on my arm at once, just trying to get every last bit of blood out. I'm like, I'm gonna die. They're gonna kill me before I get there. I need this blood to survive the sun. The sun, let me tell you, in the West Coast, if you're from the East Coast, you're used to humidity, lots of humidity. I'm not paying attention to this thing at all. Hang on, let's keep following it. Oh, my screen went black for a minute there. Gotta fix that. Oh, anyway, if you're from the East Coast, you're probably used to humidity, and you've probably gotten resistant to humidity. But little did I know, humidity is actually a blessing as much as it is an annoyance, because there's no humidity out there in Yosemite. Anyone from California, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's just no humidity. It's just the sun, the air, and you. And when we went there in the summer, it felt like a death ray. Like there's this conspiracy that the government has perfected death rays, and that's how they destroyed a bunch of properties in California. But I don't really think the government needed to perfect the death ray, because the death ray has already existed. It was just the sun the whole time. That sun was so incredibly powerful. How it just burned into your skin. I guess if you're from, I don't know, if you're from the West Coast, let me know. I guess you just get used to that, or if you're born in the West Coast, you just have a immunity to that per se, or I don't know. I know people in Arizona. What on earth is that? Is that LSD? Ooh, yes. I want to get crazy. What happened? What'd I do? I must be high now. That's fine. I probably don't notice because I'm already high. Not me. In real life, like this character. I mean, you have to be high to be doing something like this. Oh, crap. But or was I? The sun. Yeah, the sun was just beating down on you. The sun and the mosquitoes. Oh, it was tough. It was bad. We kind of both realized, because the sun was getting to us too, even though we were in a forest, that death ray snuck around all the trees and was getting to both of us. We realized we are not prepared. We have to go back and we have to find some bug spray. We have to do this right, or it's just going to turn into an episode of Man vs. Wild. So we went back. We were hunting around. We were driving around Yosemite for like a couple hours trying to find just fucking bug spray, and there was just none around anywhere in the entire park. No store was selling it, and we just were like, what are we gonna do? We have no bug spray. Until finally, after camping out at a store for a little while, waiting for it to open, we were finally able to get one can. It was their one can, the last one. It was so poetic. It was like, yep, last one on the shelf, we got it, and then we went and had a successful vacation. Yeah, so the moral of the story is bring bug spray if you're going to go to Yosemite, and bring protection from the sun. My dad and I wanted to go to the base of El Capitan, where that guy did a free solo climb of the entire cliffside. We couldn't make it. The sun, it was just like choking us. We couldn't make it. We had to turn around, even though we really wanted to see it, the base of El Capitan. Oh, too much sun. So yeah, that Yosemite is a pretty crazy place, per se. And it's very, what's the word? It highlights, it just, what am I looking for? Well, anyway, at Yosemite, people have underestimated how dangerous the sun is there. And there's people that went on like 2 or 3 minute hikes. They're just like, I'm just going to go on this trail for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Maybe not 3 minutes, like an hour. But then they die. They get heat stroke, and they die because they weren't prepared for the sun. What am I? I'm just getting a bunch of coal. What am I doing? That's not progression. That's faffing around. I gotta stop faffing around and start progressing around. Yeah. But yeah, people actually die in Yosemite just from hiking and forgetting to protect themselves from the sun. So if you're gonna go to Yosemite, word of the wise, bring lots of water, plenty of sun protection, hat, sunscreen. Bring like one of those fan things with a water bottle attached where you can like spray yourself if you're getting too hot. And for the love of God, bring bug spray. Don't go without bug spray. It's just not worth it. You won't have fun. You're gonna be someone's lunch if you go without bug spray. Yeah. So that is my story for Yosemite. Yeah, we went to Lake Tahoe after that, and that was pretty. It was great. Nice town. Great lake. Got to see Emerald Bay. I need more dynamite. Yeah. All right, we gotta uncover this thing now. We gotta get this thing uncovered so I can have something to talk about. There's plenty to talk about when you're digging a hole. The best stories come when you're doing something like digging a hole. Yes, let me in. I want to. Ooh, shiny. Got some gold. Alright, let me place this on the top. Yeah. Oh, man. Imagine uncovering this in your backyard. I would be stoked. I'd be like, guys, if I got a man cave for you, I'll invite all my friends down here. We'd all start drinking and playing pool. Oh, son of a. And I don't know, video games, watching movies, and then it would cave in, and then we'd all be trapped down there. But at least I wouldn't have to go to work, if I was trapped in a cave with no way out. That's a pretty good excuse. Man. But yeah. Yeah. Alright, back down. Well, I got any other stories on the back burner? I don't know if I do. Life is not. I wouldn't call my life interesting. That's why I play video games. Nah. But, I guess I do have another wilderness story. I don't know if we have time for it. We probably do. How long have I been at this? How long have I been at this hole digging? I don't know. Let me check real quick. I'll be right back. Oh, okay, this episode's already pushing 30 minutes. So, we'll probably just uncover this, whatever's in here. We might call it for this episode. I got a couple other stories. I got some that are just kind of fun. Some that are just kind of fun again, I guess. Yeah. I got some stuff. I don't know. But if you have a story that you want to share, leave a comment. I like to hear. I write fiction. I'm trying to write a novel right now, so I love hearing stories. I love lore. And tell me a story in the comments below. Crap. Tell me a story, because I just like stories in general. I like to make stories through games, per my description of the channel, and I like to make stories in general, and I like to hear stories. And I'm probably one of the few Gen Zers, correct me if I'm wrong, that still really reads a book. Am I wrong about that? I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope we still have a lot of Gen Zers that read, or even in Gen Alpha. But I don't know, man. It's kind of getting scary out there for authors. I don't think people. I mean, I guess there's audiobooks. People still do that, and I think that's actually becoming very popular. Is audiobooks. So that's good. Just keep finding ways to keep our crafts alive, especially with the onslaught of AI. Then it's gonna be. We need that, you know. Humans are creative creatures. We can't let anything replace our creativity. No AI. No, we can't let corporations or any of that replace our creativity, because then we're gonna lose our humanity. Dynamite, lamp, and money. 4 dynamite. Heck yes. Use that to blow this rock up. Because then we're gonna lose our humanity if we do that. We're gonna lose our originality and what makes us who we are. Anyway, didn't mean to get so deep. I personally think things like AI is a neutral tool. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. And I think it's up to humanity how we're going to use it. Just like how we're going to use cars. We can use cars for good. Like going and picking someone up who's stuck out in the rain. Or we can use cars for bad. Like using them as, well, you know, weapons. So there's a lot of neutral things in the world, and whether they're good or evil is up to us. And I think AI is a great example of that. But yeah, okay, that was random. Crap, I keep doing that. Alright, so we found what's in this room. It's a pretty good man cave size. Maybe you could do like what you do in those Gary's Mod servers where you just spawn furniture, put it in here, and like pretend you're running a donut shop or something, even though it's just some random room. And nobody in the roleplay server is gonna come to your shop because nobody gives a crap. They're all busy talking about drugs in real life with their friends in the roleplay server to come and visit your donut shop. You sons of bitches. Not for personal experience. But yeah, let me just go on a spending spree before we go. Here we go. Yeah. Look what we just picked up. We just picked up the drill. Oh, saddle up, guys. Next episode, we're gonna be we're not gonna be clicking anymore. We're gonna be holding down. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode. Again, if you have a story, tell me about it. Leave it in the comments. And while you're down there, you know, be sure to like the video and maybe drop a little subscribe while you're down there. In any case, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next hole. What? Anyway, take care.